So this is why I think that the forthcoming 2027 elections might already have been compromised. Now, this is why I think so. Please, I would like you to watch this video to the end before you draw conclusions or comment about things you are not sure of. Watch this video to the end. Now, this is why I think that this forthcoming elections might have been compromised. If you're watching from Facebook, kindly click the link in the comment section and watch the complete video on YouTube. And if you're watching on TikTok, kindly click the link on my bio to go straight to my YouTube to watch the complete video. But please endeavor to watch this video to the end before you draw your conclusions, because it will help you to be well informed as you're concluding. Now, recently, just yesterday, August 4th, 2026, the Federal High Court is sitting in Abuja, presided over by Justice Mohammed Umar, delivered a judgment against the Nigerian Democratic Congress, NDC, striking out their suit or dismissing their suit, questioning the provisions of sections 138 of the Electoral Act and sections 77 sub 5 of the said act. Now, section 138 sub 2 of the Electoral Act, which is actually what I believe that's one of the reasons why the NDC brought this application to void the said section. That section provides that the ground upon which an election or electoral officer or electoral process, the ground upon which one can appeal or bring any action in court should not be on grounds that any of the INEC's directives were violated. It should be on grounds that any of the provisions of the Electoral Act was or were violated. Let me explain further. What that said provision or that section provides is that if any of the directives of INEC was violated is violated during the forthcoming 2027 elections, that anybody who is aggrieved by that election does not have any right whatsoever to question the election or the electoral process or the electoral officer because the directives of INEC was violated, if that directive does not violate any of the sections of the Electoral Act. This means that INEC now, their actions are not curtailed or cannot be curtailed by law, because the said law has empowered them to do what they like, as far as it does not violate any of the provisions of the act, which is already dangerous regarding the forthcoming 2027 elections. Because it does look like if INEC decides to do anything in the forthcoming 2027 elections, if they decide to do anything and that thing is not contained or does not contravene the Electoral Act, that thing can go unquestioned. If they decide not to follow the procedure for computing the results or for publishing the results or for counting, you understand, as far as it does not violate the provisions of the Electoral Act, which act is not all encompassing enough, it's not sufficient enough. The Electoral Act is not sufficient enough to regulate that elections, because of the provisions of the Electoral Act is not sufficient enough. So if I cannot query the directives of the INEC, because it does not violate the provisions of the Electoral Act, that means INEC now can do what they like and they will go scot-free because nobody can sue them. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Meaning that the 2027 elections is already compromised. Yes, it's already compromised, and I would advise the NDC, especially their legal team, not to just sweep this under the carpet. Please appeal this judgment of Justice Umar. Let's see whether the higher court can void the provision of this Electoral Act, because it is detrimental to the forthcoming elections. Now, the NDC also applied that the court should also void section 77 sub 5 of the Electoral Act, which provides that only members whose names are in the registers of the political parties are eligible to vote at the primaries. But at this stage, I think we've already crossed the primaries, so most of the political parties have already announced their representatives at the various levels. So I think we've passed that stage. What is the bone of contention now is sections 138 sub 2 of the Electoral Act. And so I want to use this medium to advise the NDC to please appeal this judgment. Let's see if the Court of Appeal or even the Supreme Court would actually set aside the judgment of Justice Umar. I hope you found this video helpful. Please let us ensure that we vote in the forthcoming elections and that our vote counts. That's the most important thing. Not just voting. Let us ensure that our vote counts. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to smash the subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. Thank you very much for having me, and enjoy the rest of your day.